Y'all go ahead and join in the live stream. YouTube must have made a mistake. Welcome to the live. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by community guidelines. That boy's cleaned up. Where we at? Y'all join on in. Give a couple minutes. This ain't something ain't right. So usually you gotta have 1,000 subs to go live, but for some reason YouTube didn't let me go live. So here I am. What we talking? Turkey. Tis the day of what is referred to as Juneteenth. Are you out celebrating that? Me? Not so much. Nothing against those who are. I'm not taking part at the moment. We got a pretty good event about to go on. I'm about to go to. Where we at? Y'all come on, join on in. Let's get some folks joined in. Okay, I see you there. Well, we can hear. Oh yeah. Fool, I'm have to go live for a little second now. They don't never let me go live, yo. Now that I'm on, they done messed up. I don't know what they did. I don't know what they did. How I'm on here, but I'm on here now. Uh-oh. They didn't mess up. I'm telling you. I don't know. I'm not sure what happened with the algorithm today. I seem to have broke the YouTube algorithm. I don't even have a title for this live stream. Do y'all see a title? Let me know if y'all see a title. This is actually kind of funny. Alrighty. Let's talk about body count. Is it the same thing for a guy to have a high body count as it is for a lady to have a high body count? Answer in the comments what you think. Oh my duty. This is wild. I wasn't prepared to go live because, as I mentioned, YouTube never lets me go live. Cause they gotta get the subscribers up, y'all. Get the subs up. I done cracked the algorithm. I don't know how. Maybe I gotta check my subs again. Maybe I got more subs than I thought, which I doubt. I do a pretty good job of checking that. But yeah, I'm on here today, so I might just stick around for a little second. See how this goes. Oh my goodness. In the stoop. Yeah. Believe in yourself, okay? First and foremost. first and foremost. All right. Well, like I said, I was not prepared to go live, but YouTube let me go live today for the first time ever. I don't know what's happened. I broke the algorithm somehow. Must be because of the views. Okay, maybe YouTube is confused because thanks to y'all now, I got the views. Let's see. Orientation is locked. Uh-oh. Device orientation is locked. So let's move this down. Oh, nope. We're gonna stay here then. We're gonna keep it right here. We'll keep it right here. Let me figure this joint out. A little bit. All right. Y'all come on with the questions. Hey, speaking of which, look, let's talk about something real quick. Second Amendment. The Second Amendment. Protect the Second Amendment. Okay? And I think it's amazing how a lot of the people that are complaining about the Second Amendment are coming from the far left. And if you look at the cities with the worst problems with gun violence, okay, it's the cities that are represented by the far left. The cities represented by the conservatives, those cities aren't having these same problems. It's the Chicagos, the Gary, Indianas, the Oakland, Californias, these places that in Atlanta, these places that are locked in far left ideology that don't even look when it comes to voting day, they don't even look at the ballot. They just look for Democratic, and just vote down without even knowing the names, so on and so forth, of the individuals that they're voting for, not even understanding these policies, okay? I'm sick and tired of hearing about how racist the conservatives are, how racist the right is, how racist the Republicans are. If you vote for Republicans, you're a sellout. Pump your brakes. All y'all that are out there complaining about racism and voting for the Democrats don't understand that the Ku Klux Klan was actually started by the Democratic Party. Okay? The Ku Klux Klan is rooted throughout the Democratic Party. There was a switch somewhere down the line through trickery with FDR, so on and so forth, the New Deal, and things tended to get kind of murky. Okay? The truth became diluted, and somehow memories became short-lived. But make no mistake about it, the agenda of the Democratic Party has not changed. The players have changed, but the game remains the same. Okay? So let's get that clear right there. We need to protect the Second Amendment. And again, how about you far lefters start paying attention to some of the things and some of the strategies and techniques that are being used in some of these far right communities that are keeping them so much safer? Why are the communities that are locked tight into Republican so much safer than the cities that are locked tight into Democrats, into so-called democracy? Okay, that makes no sense. It makes zero sense how the people who are sitting here complaining about gun laws and gun rights and how easily accessible. We need to take away the braces and the stocks on firearms, and the firearms that are quote unquote hybrid between PCCs rifles, pistols, etc. Well, we can't tell the difference. We can't tell if it's a pistol or if it's a rifle. Hey, it's a firearm. We have the right to bear. But us that are operating within the laws on a day-to-day basis, why is it that we are having to fight and struggle to maintain basic gun rights, basic Second Amendment rights? Because those of you who are so locked into the far left ideology can't seem to understand that, hey, if we don't even look at the ballot, if we just go in and vote for Democrats without even knowing what their policies are, they don't ever have to follow through with what they tell us they're going to do. Why don't people think that ever? Why don't people ever have that thought? Not one time. Those of you in Gary and Chicago and Oakland and Atlanta, all these cities with the highest rate of violence, we see that the Bronx is coming around to the Trump side. I don't know why. Obviously, that's a joke. Biden, I mean, listen, I tell the story almost every time that it gets brought up about Biden. And I'm not sitting here endorsing anyone, by the way. But I tell you this. When they said, well, actually, this is true for both, but especially for Biden. When they told me that Biden was going to be the nominee for the Democratic Party, I immediately referenced back to the head of state with Chris Rock. Okay, he was the first black president, yada yada yada. But they said that they chose him to lose, and it started being a big deal once he started having a chance to win, as it appeared. But basically, behind the scenes in that movie, they had put Chris Rock in, and his whole job was to simply run for president, bring in more eyes, and so that way the black community, the minority communities, would vote for them come the next election year, because if they had a candidate that is a minority. And so they would then use that as leverage to get the minority vote in the next election. Simple and plain. We're not going to try to win this race. We're just going to put on a show in order to build up the next election, because they thought they had lost. And so when they announced that they had Biden running for president, I said, oh, they're not even trying to win. I honestly thought, okay, what the Democratic Party is doing is they're just using Biden because he is a familiar face, being the former vice president. So they wanted to use a familiar face to get that election out of the way and build up and focus on who they wanted to build up for the next election come the next 4 years, for the next race. But somehow, some way, Biden became the president of the United States. I still can't believe it. Just go look at the videos of Biden. Search in Biden White House staring. Just him staring. They have an event where they got musicians out there, jazz musicians. Within the last couple of days, they had an event, I believe, for Juneteenth. Just go look up 2024 White House Juneteenth celebration, Biden. Okay? I mean, this guy is lost in the sauce. Now, I don't even know if that's him in there. I mean, this guy, whoever that is in the Biden thing, whoa, all right? But I digress. Basically, Protect the second. Do what you got to do to protect the second. How else can you protect the second? Go out there and get strapped. Yes, I'm telling you, especially before before the election comes up, all right, because there's possible changing of the guard, but it could stay far left. And the things that they're doing with children, oh my days. Okay? I mean, if we are seriously going to sit back and allow children to be changed, mutilated, regendered, then I seriously fear for the direction that this world is going in, because other countries have already outlawed this. But this should be a war crime. Okay? I mean, this is not, I mean, this should be a crime on, this is a crime on humanity. This needs to be interfered with. Somebody needs to interfere. And I believe that it's we, the people, who need to interfere. Okay? Because if not us, then who's going to interfere? Who's going to do it for us? We want somebody else to come in and interfere with what we have going on. We can't govern ourselves to at least understand that children are children. And if they cannot vote, they cannot drive, they cannot drink, they cannot sign for anything as far as permission slips go for being under 18, they cannot do these things, but yet we're going to let them reassign their own biology? Come on now. Let's go. All right? Let's go. We're going to have an intermission. Okay? Welcome to the live chat, a man's eye review. Give me a couple minutes. I'll be right back, but we live with it. All right? All right. I still don't hardly believe it. They gonna let a real one go live. All right. Shout outs to YouTube. Oh, I gotta do it. Shout outs to the tube. Let me get some better lighting up here. We got any questions in the chat? Come on now. Any questions in the chat? Let me see. Okay, let me see. What is this? Oh, you all right? All righty. All right, what we got? Oh, there we go. Caitlyn Clark. Oh my goodness. Now see, y'all gotta let me know what's happening, all right? Because Chicago Sky and Chicago Sky. What are the odds that the Chicago Sky are the ones who drafted Angel Reese? What are the odds? I don't know. I mean,
what better place to have players that embody that type of behavior. I'll say, because it don't just come from. We got the other girl on the team that came up and shoulder checked Caitlyn Clark. When Caitlyn Clark, again, she's basically Marshall Mathers of the WNBA. I've heard someone else use that reference, which I like. She's basically Marshall Mathers, except the difference is, especially now, okay, you'll see it. You will definitely see it in the industry. People do not come for Eminem. They don't come from Marshall very often, not at all. They very often very seldomly will come from Marshall. Why? Because if they can somehow get on the same track with Marshall, get in the same room with Marshall, it can potentially boost their profile. All right, and that goes to say the same for Caitlyn Clark. If these hating women in the WNBA that nobody watched before Caitlyn Clark was there, all right, women don't watch the WNBA, but the same women who are complaining about how sexist and racist the viewership is because we didn't want to watch all these different products that they was putting out. We were not consuming, we'll say, because the taste of those products were not our taste. They did not suit our taste buds. And because that, now that y'all have somebody who does, and you have a fan base that is tuned in, it's still not good enough because you are not the specific reason that they're tuned in, that we, the people, are tuned in. Okay? It is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I'll ask you this. Look at the behavior of the behavior of these women in the way that they've treated Caitlyn Clark, who's done nothing to them, by the way. All she's done is ball. And what does she get in return? Hatred. Hatred spewed by women who cannot control their emotions. And why? Why are they having bad animosity towards Caitlyn in the first place? Jealousy. Misery loves company. And it's ugly. It does not wear a good face. What we got in the chat? I know somebody talking crazy already. Message. There we go. Y'all welcome. Go ahead, join the live. Talk your SHIT. I'm here for it. I'm geared for it. Join in. Salute. Are you obsessed with Caitlyn Clark? Absolutely not obsessed. But I will tell you this. I love what she's doing right now. And I love how much content that is being generated off of Caitlyn Clark alone. If you look at what's going on with Caitlyn Clark right now, there is so much that is stemming from just her alone. And she isn't even saying a word. In the interviews, all she's doing is being professional. You cannot show me one glimpse of Caitlyn Clark being unprofessional with media whatsoever. all she does is be professional and ball out. Are lesbian WNBA players bad for the product? Well, I honestly don't know, but I'll say this. Nobody's watching. Okay. I'll say this. Okay. It's a very loaded question. I find it funny though. But I can say this. Let's just look at the numbers. All right. You can be gay in any sports organization as far as I'm aware. You can be gay in the NBA, you can be gay in the NFL, in MLB, whatever. I'm pretty sure there's no rules against being gay. But what do you think about CC leading the league in technical fouls? All right, hold on one second before we get there. The WNBA has not overturned a profit in the last almost 30 years of its being in existence. The WNBA has not turned a profit. I don't know if that has anything to do with the fact that they have the highest percentage of openly gay athletes participating. I'm not sure. I know that they do have a much higher percentage of openly gay athletes that are quote unquote the product, and I'm not sure if that plays a part. I don't understand why it would though, because everywhere I look, gay is being promoted right now. I can't turn on a commercial without seeing something gay on it. I can't open a book. I can't take my kids to the movies without seeing gay in the previews and the film, so on and so forth. So in the gay, we're in Pride Month. They have an entire month. Okay, in an entire month. They have parades. They have all these things, but for some reason, the Pride people are not supporting the WNBA. And as far as I know, the Pride people have the biggest market than any market as in recent time. I'm telling you, it is amazing. There's NFL teams. There was actually an article written about the number of NFL teams who did not participate. This is how far along this agenda has come. There are articles written about the NFL teams who didn't participate in Pride Month by changing their logo to the rainbow on Twitter. It is beyond me. I honestly, the answer to your question, are lesbian WNBA players bad for the product? I honestly don't have any evidence to say that they are, based on the fact that I literally, the way that I see it, the LBGTQ, PYGNLP, what all that is buying. They are consuming at a rate, and they are gaining traction at a rate that is unprecedented. So I would say no. What do you think about Caitlyn Clark leading the league in technical fouls? Okay, that's a great question. If I were Caitlyn Clark and I were being attacked in the way that Caitlyn Clark is being attacked by her opponents in an unfair, unjust, unsafe way, I would be leading the league in technical fouls too, I'm sure, because they are not even the plays that they're making on Caitlyn Clark are at this point aren't even basketball plays. They are reckless, ruthless, just completely uncontrolled plays, and they're plays that you do not do on someone in a professional setting. They're trying to play prison ball with the biggest commodity known in their profession. They're trying to They are trying to attack the cash cow instead of attach themselves to the cash cow. Those women who are fouling Caitlyn Clark like that are playing literally. It is shooting yourself in the shooting your toe off to spite your foot. That's what they're doing. They are shooting off their big toe, and the big toe, controls the balance. So when they shoot Caitlyn Clark down, the whole WNBA is crashing down with it. And I believe Caitlyn Clark will prevail. I do believe that. But I'm telling you, if not, that this is the end of the WNBA. You end Caitlyn Clark, these women who are out there fouling her like this with no regard for human life, these women will regret it if Caitlyn Clark ends up not being able to play. Imagine one of these women going out there hurting Caitlyn Clark, and Caitlyn Clark ends up hurt for a long period of time. Do you know how fast that WNBA numbers, that market, that those ratings are going to plummet? They are going to crash, hit rock bottom, and they might even put a hole in some people's circuit boards how fast it crashes. It will be amazing to see how quickly, because these same women who are talking about, well, it's more people are watching the WNBA for more reasons than Caitlyn Clark. No, they are not. The people are watching for Caitlyn Clark. And this Olympics that's coming up, which I am very glad, by the way, that Caitlyn Clark is not on this Olympic basketball team. Had Caitlyn Clark been on this Olympic basketball team, it would be, oh my God, she would be playing 1-on-10. She'd be 1-on-10. She would be playing against the other team, and she would be playing against her own teammates, because her own teammates have more resentment for her than the other team does. That's how much hatred and jealousy is being spewed in the WNBA. There is more. I mean, and look at how. That's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up. If I was a teammate, the teammate Caitlyn Clark should be ashamed of themselves. Caitlyn Clark's teammates should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. They should be booed everywhere they go. And this is another missed opportunity, because they're so jealous of Caitlyn Clark that when people are taking unill-advised shots at Caitlyn Clark, they just move out the way and let the shots hit Caitlyn. They do not send any shots back. They do not rally around Caitlyn. They do not have Caitlyn's back. They sit there and move out the way to make sure Caitlyn gets hit with any bullet that is getting sent out that way. So her teammates should be ashamed of themselves. And once them teammates are traded and they go to teams without Caitlyn Clark, and they're going back to teams where you're playing in empty arenas, that's your fault, and that's what you get. Because guess what? When it comes down to it and they start making these trades, because they will get a new coach, they will get new players. And Caitlyn will have a say who comes in that team and who stays on that team that's already there. And if you're sitting there, you're one of these players that are sitting there letting Caitlyn get pushed around and you're not saying nothing, guess what? When they ask Caitlyn, hey, do you want to keep her? Do you want to move her? You can get rid of her. Yeah, you're gone. Back to the ghetto you go, as the saying from next Friday goes. All right. Are you an ally of the LGBTQ plus community? I don't know what that even means. I wouldn't know how to answer that question. What the hell is an ally of the LGBTQ+? What is an ally? What does that mean? How can you be an ally to them? I don't understand that question. I'm not an ally. I'm not an enemy. No, neither would I consider myself, unless you can give me a definition of what it would mean to be an ally. Give me some examples of allies to the gay community. And another thing, I'm glad you asked that. So many people can come out in public and claim to be allies of the LGBTQPG of the community, And then members of that community shun them, denounce them, and say, that is not what we represent. See, that is such a good question. The LBGTQPGYG, the members of that community, a lot of the times come out publicly and say that we're being misrepresented. And those who are claiming to be our allies do not stand for what we stand for. They do not represent what we represent. So please be specific, because a lot of those people who are claiming to be allies of the LGBTQPG, those people are not allies, in fact, and they are imposters and impersonators, and they are agenda pushers, okay? Those are people who are coming for the children, and those are the people trying to get drag queens, drag shows into elementary schools and so on and so forth. Those are the people who we have turning around the Star Wars series just to make it more inclusive for the LGBTQP, because they don't see themselves enough in the Star Wars world. I mean, this is amazing how far we've gone. And thank you for the question, by the way. There's more. Do you consider yourself an unbiased spectator when it comes to discussing Caitlyn Clark and the WNBA? Absolutely, I'm unbiased, but I am truthful. I am honest. Caitlyn Clark. Just think about this. Just think about how ridiculous it would be if you, as a business owner, even if you don't own the business, if you work for a business and you support your family off of how well this business does, which actually leads me to a bigger problem. That is exactly why the WNBA players have no shame in what they're doing, because they're so used to taking handouts without ever even attempting to pay it back. They're so used to having their handout that they expect things for free, okay? The NBA has been paying their bills from the beginning of their time. And how many times a year, okay? How many times a season do WNBA players come out publicly and thank the NBA for keeping them alive, for providing food for their children? Because had it not been for the NBA, okay, if the NBA decides that, you know what, we're going to let these women run their own league and we're not going to breastfeed them anymore, okay? We're not going to spoon feed them anymore. We're not going to keep them afloat. If the NBA decides to cut the WNBA off and stop financing them, stop funding their atrocious behavior, their atrocious organization, then you will see how fast, again, the WNBA collapses. But because they have no sense of accountability, where our job depends on us being accountable, and our job depends on us being marketable, and our job depends on us being profitable, until that moment comes, we might not see attitude adjustment. This is why they feel that they can afford to behave in such a disgusting manner, because they have been given and given and given, and they have not given back anything, okay? Not a single cent of profit has been overturned from the WNBA. But millions upon millions of dollars is funneled and just pushed into the WNBA year after year after year. And these WNBA players have no gratitude. Their attitudes are quite disgusting. Do you consider? You think Caitlyn Clark is being fouled harder than other players? Absolutely. I think not only is she being fouled harder than other players, but she's being targeted. The fouls that she's getting hit with are not basketball fouls. These aren't even, a lot of these fouls are not the type of fouls that you would, as a basketball player, naturally make. These are that Chanity Carter, whatever her name is, that Chanity Carter comes behind Caitlyn Clark and just pushes her in the back, and that Angel Reese, whatever you want to, Demon Reese, whatever you call her, she goes and whips Caitlyn around and tries to sling her on the floor after she pushed her butt into Caitlyn Clark's knee area. Okay, very dangerous. She was so-called boxing out, but she thrust her butt right back into Caitlyn Clark's legs, which could have hyperextended her knees. And then she tries to whip her around. She ends up falling on the floor. That is disgusting. Call it what it is. That is disgusting. I think most men would agree, if they had a daughter out there playing, they would be pretty upset about that, and they wouldn't like to see it. That's why people don't want to come to the games to show their children this stuff. They're like, hey, this is not good basketball. This is not the type of people that I want my children to aspire to be. That's part of being marketable. And the WNBA hasn't been that. Caitlyn Clark is not out here showing off her thong. Caitlyn Clark is not out here promoting the LBGT. She's not trying to be masculine. Caitlyn Clark is not trying to be a pulverizing figure. She's not trying to push you in any specific way. She is just a very professional young lady who has the ability to put the ball in the hole at an extreme clip that the college world has never seen. Okay? And to draw in the attention of people at a level that the WNBA has never, ever even fathomed, I would say. I don't think that the WNBA, they were so far from this that the things that they were asking for, equal percentage payout as the NBA players, how come we don't get the same percentage of pay from the profits? Because you don't have a profit. And if you were any type of accountable, you would never ask that. You would be grateful, and you would be in awe of the fact that your league even exists. But instead, you talk about, well, we should get the same percentage. It's impossible to give you a percentage of a loss. The NBA has profits, in fact, that are so high that they can afford to not only pay the owners off well enough to where they feel, okay, we can split some of this money up and start paying the players as well. The WNBA, what are you talking about? The percentage payout, your percentage is in the negatives. And until you now, where you have a figure, a icon like Caitlyn Clark, who people are actually going to follow and get behind and give other players the opportunity to attach themselves to, such as an Angela Reese. If it weren't for Caitlyn Clark, who would even know Angela Reese? Who would know Angel Reese if it weren't for Caitlyn Clark? If Angel Reese doesn't get all up trying to get Caitlyn's attention, if she doesn't do that, where is her career right now? Huh? By the way, there's 12 WNBA teams. Angel was drafted 7. That means over half of the league passed up an opportunity to get Demon Reese on their team. Over half of the league said, oh, we're good on that. Over half. Okay? So let's stop pretending like she's just this game changer or something like that. She's a solid rookie. Okay? She's a solid rookie. But she's extremely provocative in the way she dresses and exposes herself. I would not want my daughter watching her walk into the game at all. I would not be telling my daughter, hey, pay attention to her and how she does things. Nope. Sure would not. But Caitlyn Clark, absolutely, I would. I sure would tell my daughter, hey, watch her. Look how she does it. Look how she responds to the game. Look how she acts. Look how well she responds to her teammates. Yeah, in college, of course. Now, in the WNBA, her teammates are atrocious, awful excuses of teammates. I've already said that. Caitlyn Clark's teammates need to be replaced as soon as possible. I don't know if Caitlyn Clark has a worse coach or a worse set of colleagues to play the game with. I do not know, but both have to go. Do you support the LGBTQIAXYZ to have the same rights as heterosexual people? Yeah. And I'm so sick of the notion that they don't. And that is another thing that members of the LGBTQP plus community, they just want to be left alone. They don't want to have their acronym posted and plastered everywhere and get sympathy from everybody. They just want to be left alone from all the members of the community who I've heard speak that were not getting pushed by an agenda, that they're speaking on their own terms. The members of the LGBTQ+, they just want to be left alone. They don't want people trying to speak for them and get them extra rights to things that they already had rights to in the first place. This is so ridiculous that this community doesn't have the same rights as everyone else. In fact, if you look, it's as if they have even more rights than the average person. In my opinion, I would say they have even more rights as of right now than members of any other quote unquote community. They have the pull, they have the power, which is why I think it's preposterous to suggest. I believe it's preposterous to suggest that the WNBA is not marketable because their high rate of LGBTQ+ people, because that's just it's not consistent with anything else that we've seen in this wave of the last 15 or so odd years. It's not consistent with anything else. Anything else that attaches itself to the LGBTQYSPLMNOPXYZ community flourishes. It flourishes. I mean, maybe not the Bud Light deal. The Bud Light experiment didn't go as well as they thought it would, I'll say. But outside of that, when you attach yourself to that community, you pretty much do good business. That's why people keep doing it, if you ask me. Do you respect any black? Wait, what? What kind of question is? Some of these questions are absolutely absurd. And there's some good ones, but wow. Do you have more respect / admiration for white people over black people? What? Do you have more respect or admiration for white people or black people? No, I have admiration and respect for respectable and admirable people. People with qualities that are respectable and admirable. And it doesn't matter what the shade of your skin is to me. Okay? And if we're being honestly clear about this topic, I don't even like those terms. So the answer is an obvious no. I mean, come on. Do you respect any black women in the WNBA? Are you a fan of any black players in the W? Wow. What is the line of questioning is amazing right now. Do you respect any black women in the WNBA? Are you a fan of any black players in the WNBA? All right, give me some examples of quote unquote black women in the WNBA. And to be perfectly honest, since Candace Parker retired, the only players I know in the WNBA are by name. I know Sabrina's name, but that's only because she had a contest with Steph Curry that I actually happened to go to that All-Star weekend, but I don't even know her last name. I know Skylar Diggins because she's from Indiana, much like myself. I know Diane. What? Damn, I can't even remember her name. She plays for the Chicago Sky. Diana. She went to Louisville. She's from Gary, also from Indiana. I know her name. I don't know why I can't think of her last name right now. I don't know very many WNBA players, by the way. And surely I don't know very many white WNBA players, certainly. So I hope that answers your question. I also believe that the Indiana Fever are such a terrible organization and make such terrible choices. And they let Caitlyn Clark's teammate, I believe Katie Martin, something like that, get drafted by another team instead of drafting her when they knew that she would be, if nothing else, she was going to be a solid shooter and she would be there to support Caitlyn Clark. Would you get a pride tattoo to show your support for the LBGT? Hell no. What? That is a ridiculous question. Would I get a pride tattoo? No, absolutely not. All right, looks like that's going to end the live for today, but I really appreciate all the questions. Y'all go ahead, like, subscribe, share the content. Be back next time, hopefully. But like I said, YouTube, I done broke the algorithm. I'm not even, as far as I know, have enough subscribers to go live. But it happened today, so I took advantage of the opportunity. And I thank you for doing the same. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do you watch the WNBA teams? Do you think WNBA teams would be better off with male coaches? Absolutely. Put that down. Would the WNBA teams do better with coaches that were either NBA players or NBA coaches? Absolutely. All right. You all enjoy the rest and stay safe out there. Love.